Hey guys, it's Ashley with 3R Sales and Service. We are taking a look at a 6x10 enclosed trailer, and this is one of our Blizzard packages. So it has a 5.5 gallon cold pressure washer, and it has the 100 PSI, 7 gallon per minute, 12 volt soft wash system. Up front here, we have our 3 Titan hose reels. These are hand crank hose reels, and they all have stainless manifolds to prevent corrosion. There's a lot of bleach being used in these, so we want to prevent as much corrosion as we possibly can. We have 200 feet of our soft wash hose on top, 200 feet of the pressure washer hose, and 100 feet of the 3/4 inch Flexzilla hose on the bottom. We've got our locking connectors, keep everything nice and tidy, and then of course keep anything from coming loose. On the floor, you can also see that we have our protective flooring installed in here. The protective flooring is nice because not only is it trimmed all the way around, we add aluminum trim to it. It's sealed all the way, but it keeps the bleach or water or any other chemicals, fuel off of the wood of the trailer. So this extends the life of the trailer significantly, and just overall makes it look a lot more nicer and a lot more professional. Behind it, we have a couple water tanks, chemical tanks. I'll kind of go around back to give you a better view of all of that. The other thing that we do on this one is we got a 6-foot tall trailer. So it gives you more height, not only for storage, but for accessibility, for maintenance. If you're a little bit taller, a little easier to move around in there. And then we use the double doors on the trailer too. So you don't have to worry about a ramp door sticking out an extra 6 feet or so and blocking a driveway if you're in more compact areas. So again, from the rear, you can see a better view of the floor. One of the things we really try to do is to keep all of the hoses out of the way. We don't want any trip hazards, but we also want to maximize storage. So we'll go over the pressure washer. It's a 3,000 PSI, 5.5 gallon a minute pressure washer. Has a Honda GX390 engine. It is electric start, which gives us the ability to kind of keep it tucked in closer to the wall to maximize the space for getting in and out of the trailer or moving your accessories in and out. It has the RW series belt-driven Comet pump, a pump we've been using for years, super reliable. There are external unloaders on these pumps, on any pump that we use really. And the unloader gives us the ability to bypass the water back to the water tank whenever you are off the trigger. So the engine's running, you let go of the trigger gun, it has to cycle through the pump, but we extend that hose back to the water tank so we can get a ton of cool water going through there and preventing any seal damage whenever you're not using the pressure washer but the engine's still running. We also have bleeder valves on our systems. And what a bleeder valve does is it eliminates all of the air out of the incoming water line, so from the water tank over to the pressure washer, and it primes the pump head. And if you've ever tried to run a pressure washer off of a water tank before, you know that you can start the engine and no water will come out if the water is not all the way through the pump head already. You get air stuck in there, it just won't work properly. So we kind of eliminate that issue and make it much easier for startup and a lot easier on your pump. Over on our driver's side wall, we have our 12 volt soft wash system. So we have it wall mounted, again, saving a ton of space, making use of the walls in an enclosed application. We have our 7 gallon per minute, 100 PSI pump. This is an accumulator, kind of helps regulate the water flow a little bit. We have our charger. It's a 10 amp charger, so you can charge from the exterior of the trailer using this port right here. We'll show it to you from the outside as well. But there's kind of a pigtail here that again connects everything together. It charges the 12 volt battery that the soft wash runs off of. And then we have our metering system to pull from the tanks that are on board here. So from the tanks, we've got a 55 gallon water tank, a 55 gallon bleach tank, and we have a 7 gallon surfactant tank. So knowing that, we have our water, our surfactant, and our bleach line here. We can pull through any one of these from the tanks and you can meter each one. So it makes it really easy, especially on the bleach line, to know exactly how much you're drawing. The most available type of bleach is a 12.5% concentrate of the sodium hypochlorite, and this is based off of those numbers. So you can pull 0.5% of bleach, 3% bleach, or up to 6% when you're using this system. going back over to tanks here, I'm going to jump in, kind of point out everything. So on the tanks, this is our surfactant tank. We do have an additional soap tank that you can use. And this is great for any other kind of house wash or degreaser or truck wash. If you have any other kind of soap that you're using really often, you can keep it in there. We have our bleach tank, and then we have our water tank. On the bleach tank, you can kind of see this hose here. This is one of our vent hoses, so that if you've had a rig before, bleach is very airborne. So we try to vent as much of that out of the trailer and to the exterior, just to prevent corrosion on the inside as much as possible. On the water tank, we got a few hoses up here. So the cool bypass system I mentioned, that's this hose here that connects back to the pressure washer. This is our incoming hose. So on the garden hose reel, you have it connected to the house, the water's coming in and it's filling up your water tank. It's being filtered before it goes into the tank. That way you don't get a bunch of buildup in the bottom of your tank. And on the inside we have a float valve. So once this fills up, it stops the water flow, and then as soon as it starts to deplete, it'll again continue to fill the tank. So it's great for running a 5.5 gallon system or a 7 gallon system, even if you don't have a full 7 gallon supply coming from the house. This kind of acts as a buffer tank. So every time you let off the trigger, it's continually filling up the tank. Above us, we have our dip tube assembly. We put the dip tube on the bleach line for the soft wash system because it allows us to use the soft wash system as a standard chemical application system, or allows us to rinse fully with it, or we can use it as a transfer pump. So when you're using your bleach and you want to put your bleach mix on a roof or on a house, you're going to drop this dip tube down into your bleach tank. When you're ready to rinse, you can drop it down into your water tank. That rinses out your bleach valve, it rinses out all of your lines. And then if you want to transfer chemical from outside of your trailer, like if you get a 55 gallon drum or a tote of bulk bleach, you can take this, you can drop it into your concentrate, and then you can actually use your wand on the assembly that comes with the system and just spray it right into your tank. So it's acting as a transfer pump. So it kind of saves you a little bit at the beginning if you didn't want to have a separate system for that. Otherwise, we have plenty of extra space for surface cleaners, toolboxes, additional accessories, anything that you need in here. Plenty of space for servicing as well. All right, if you have any questions, it'll be on our website. It's 3rpressurewashers.com, or feel free to give us a call. Thanks.